Alright, been wanting to do this one for a while. Um, just waiting for a good time because I said, I think it was last week, go over some of my goals for 2023 and then ended up going on vacation and then ended up getting sick with allergies. And then this past weekend, my dad and stepmom were in town, so I ended up hanging out with them and I'll end up seeing them later this week as well. So I want to get this one done and out of the way with. I wanted to share why I started this channel. Okay, so with that, I'll go ahead and talk a little bit about myself, my background. Hopefully to put into context why I fell in love with dog training. So now 34. This year would be 35? I think so. Yeah, be 35 this year. So anyway, so in my early 20s, I think I've shared plenty of times that my first sport was golf. Ended up getting into long drive competitions and did fairly well. Okay, didn't have enough to go pro or anything because by that time my knee went to shit. And then if you ask my golf instructor, who happened to be one of my best friends, that's when I also met Kelly. And then, well, you know, like the old Rocky quote, women weaken legs, you know, whoops. So that kind of happened, and I ended up losing the passion for playing, or I should say not playing golf, but doing long drive. Because after a certain period of time, how many drives kind of hit over 400 yards, just got kind of boring. And then I got tired with golf in general. All right, by that time I was working over at Golf Galaxy with a bunch of buddies, but just after so many years, just hated it. Got bored, redundant, you know, it was Groundhog's Day over and over again. So I looked for something new. Actually went to school for creative writing to make movies and really liked the writing process of it. So that's why I minored in the creative writing part. Won a few screenplay competitions, but nothing monetary came from it. Okay, so wasn't making any money. Still liked it because it was still part of that creative edge and creative outlet of it all, but needed some money. So that was one of the reasons, kind of around the same time when I was doing the long drive competitions. But again, got tired of that, so ended up moving on to working at the Portofino Bay as a bellman, because one of my buddies who came into the golf shop all the time said, hey, it's thoughtless money. Just move some luggage around, point people, get some ice or whatever, stick your hand out and people will give you money. And you got time to play golf if you want to get back into it. So I did. Still writing, but again, nothing came from it. So I ended up kind of getting deterred and just, I don't want to say giving up, but I just put it on the back burner. But somehow or another, with all my fucking jobs, I ended up having to write or be kind of creative in that kind of way, just in a different format. But anyway, so I was doing usually the 5 a.m. shift, which is again why I was always such an early bird. But after a while of pulling people luggage around a fucking resort, I'm not gonna sound demeaning or anything because people do make a decent living, nothing to boast about, but you know, that's all you do, that's all you do. But I just had bigger ambitions than just that. So after 2 years, but also seeing the writing on the wall with some tourists in a new age of not knowing how to tip, which was getting kind of embarrassing because some of the tricks I had to pull in order to put the full court press on people to get a tip. Just because, again, that's how you make your living, because other than that, I was making basically $4 an hour. It got old. Again, this was pre-COVID, so writing on the wall was like, okay. 2-3 years is usually about my cap, and that's when I get bored and need a new challenge. Okay, so that's when I was always into lifting. And actually, before I even went into UCF to go into film and creative writing, my minor was all in science, because initially I was going to go in for athletic training because I liked anatomy and physiology, like, you know, sports. My sport happened to just be golf, but I like the injuries and rehab and the physicality of it all. And again, because of just being creative and working out a problem. Well, I never actually went there because, again, I switched to my film at the time. Big left turn. But anyways, still like lifting, in the gym. Did it for golf, did it for just myself. So I said, fuck it, try and be a personal trainer. So got certified and everything else. And then that's when I was looking for gym jobs, saw an ad, and I'm not going to name the gym right this second because I still work there, but saw the salary. Indeed used to put the dollar amount per hour on their ads. This happened to just show a yearly. So I went and applied because it was just the most, and it was close to my house at the time. Did extremely well. It was essentially this job is a sales job. Yes, you're helping people, but in order to provide your service, you have to make a sale, which is what I was doing at golf shop. Anything other than fixing clubs left and right was also selling people and fitting them into new products that they needed or want. Now it just happens to be, the health and fitness area, which is cool. Still did it. Still am doing it. It's my current job, which we'll get to in a little bit here. And then after got great in sales, helped a shit ton of people, ended up getting promoted to a PTM position where I'm the manager of a team, 27 people. And once again, knocked that shit out of the water. Did a record number for sales, not just for 1 month, of hitting over $300,000 in a single month, first time ever in a single stream revenue in the gym industry, but also the yearly of over $2 million, first gym to ever do that, and solely just personal training. Then the following year, expectations were a little higher. And again, watch my words here because I'm still with this employer, but about that 2 or 3 year itch started happening and some other stuff. And then I purposely stepped down. Okay, stepped down and just became a trainer again. Still helping people, still helping teammates, what have you, here and there, and the club and my clients as well. But again, to back my mind, and especially now that I'm older, this was always in my mind, but something really happened where last year, even the year before, no matter how hard I work at something, I just came up short of the big success that I really wanted. Still a certain level of success if you look at, a measuring stick compared to other people, but something about it just was not there. And this is where I finally had to figured out I was better at coaching than actually doing. I think this is why I was such a good coach, because I've had the successes and failures of a lot of people to help, inspire them, celebrate them, and motivate them, which is exactly what you gotta do with dogs. But as I'm working, just end of the day, no matter how hard I'm working, it's not mine, okay? So, and I got tired, and a lot of people do this all around the world, every single day. They're working for other people, and this is where it's like, you know what? I'm tired of that point. I'm at that point where I'm just tired of it. I want something for me. That's mine. That's, I built up from the ground up. It could be, if you want to call it your legacy, that's fine. But something where I can do something I'm passionate about, creative about, and help the most. And hopefully at the end of the day, make a decent living. The more people you help, hopefully you make a decent living. Just like at fucking Amazon, they're helping everyone around the world, and that's why they're, a $1 trillion company. But while I was doing the gym thing, that's when Kelly and I ended up getting our first dog, Ace. And I really got that first itch of, I like training, Training is just communication. So whether if it's a person or a dog, it's just clear communication of what is being done, what needs to be done, and what not to do. That's it. So I think I just always accept, working on these fucking videos, I've always been good at communication. This is why I started one of these videos, is to get better at communicating to a mass audience where, again, nerves and, you know, not going to say stage fright or your shortcomings are really exposed, but essentially how bad you are at something, and then hopefully with enough time you get less bad at it. So this is part of it, of starting this channel, was for my own personal growth. But at the same time, what's mine is going to be getting me into gear to start my own dog training business. And there's multiple forms that I'm playing with in order to do that. But this was my first step into spreading the word. So this is where the channel really started, was something that was mine, something that was challenging for me, you know, for my own personal growth, to keep me engaged and want to keep coming back in order to get better and better. I don't need to write shit down like that. Okay, I got a nagging voice in my head that would just keep pushing me and tell me to do it before. You know, when I first started, part of this month was also 31 days, however many days are in January, going dry, no alcohol, because before I used to do these fucking videos, have a little something in my cup, whether it was the Mike's Hard Lemonade or because it was the cold and flu season, a screwdriver, because in my mind, the alcohol will kill any, you know, foreign bodies in my body, and the vitamin C will bring it back to life. Before I did any of these videos, you know, or even while during it, you know, in between, just something to sip on. But now I'm doing it dry, so again, maybe the nerves are a little more exposed, but I don't give a fuck. I just wanted to do it for me, okay? So, again, with all this, I really fell into a passion with having dogs. When we got Ace, worked it really hard, especially during COVID. That's when I saw, again, and still am a member, again, because I'm totally transparent, a member of Robert Cabral's site. I liked how he communicated. Kind of like same demeanor and same outlook on things as I did, so maybe that's why I was so easily connected with him as a trainer at first, even though I was also taking Ace to Ed's, where you've heard me mention plenty of times where I do the bite training with Ava. But over and over and over, I'm just thinking, what do I want to do? Business-wise, career-wise, just needed a fresh start. And that's where I fell into love with dog training, really want to push my skills. And so when we got Ava, I wanted a sporting dog, something with more drive, that needs, well, more structure. But I ended up wanting a sporting dog because I want to get into IPO, monitoring one of the ring sports, see how she does, not just for fun for the dog. If she loves it, great, I'll keep doing it. But also for me as her trainer, just to see how well I can get her there. Obviously there's help involved, because like I mentioned just prior, take her out to Ed's, where I got other people helping me with the bite work, some other stuff, quick obedience, you know, the socialization where it's in a control setting, and any just second pair of eyes type thing. So this way I'm not missing anything and she's not slacking, because it's easy to do that. So got her, and then, yeah, it was just at that crossroads in my life where I wanted a new change, and I thought something I don't want to jump into, because last year, I guess, was my ambition of starting businesses, and I started one, and it was a complete flop. Lost a fuck ton of money. Absolutely a fuck ton of money on this one. And I don't want to say it was kind of a get-rich-quick scheme. There was intelligence behind it. It was just a bad investment with the wrong people. And I got fucked. And I had to pay a whole bunch of credit card debt off in order to get out of it. I'm not going to say how much, because Kelly doesn't even know how much yet. And this is where, again, a buddy of mine started his own business. One of my best friends, he started his own tax business. And then he thought about, if I want to get into it, he got into something else. With insurance, I was going to think about it. I stuck my toe in the water a little bit. with insurance and see how I liked it. And end of the day, and at this age, I realized I fucking don't want to do anything that I'm not passionate about or have any drive to do. And if I just don't want to do it, I'm not going to do it. So I kept thinking about it, and that's where dog training really just kept coming back in my mind. Okay. And just thinking, like, how can I really get good at it and successful at it? So that's where I just thought, let me just immerse myself all in. Got something up here on the phone. So, and everyone kept telling me I needed to do it because I see a little things on my Instagram, things I'm doing with Ava, and they all thought it was cool. And Ava had every problem in the world, and now they see her and they're like, holy shit, this is a totally different dog. So, and this is where I gained enough experience that because I've had 2 dogs with 2 totally different demeanors, and I've made countless mistakes that I could pass on and share on with other people, and that I've had good conversations with that also propelled my intelligence with my IQ in dog training. So I will never say I'm a dog expert. I won't even claim that shit. That's a lot of pressure to claim. I will just say I'm a dog enthusiast because I'm still learning, still growing. And part of this catalog of videos is not just to help other people and trying to minimize the mistakes that I made, but also so you can see and track the progress that with my dogs, because part of it was this year I want to get Ava into IPO, but I got to start with her BA. So sometime this year I'll do her BA, but hopefully, again, with just enough time, you can see, the evolution of this channel. Hopefully get more subscribers. I'm grateful for the few that I have, which is totally fine. That was one thing I said I was not gonna stress about or worry about, was, how many views or how many subscribers, I have. It was just doing this for me and putting the best info that I can out there, and hopefully just get better at it as well. Even though I was successful with, I still am successful with, personal training and having those kind of conversations and making it easier, is because I talked about it every single day. When I first started, especially in the sales part, I was fucking horrible at it. Bombed. I didn't get really good at it until I failed about 100 one-on-one assessments that I finally get the hang of it. So hopefully with, 100 bad videos on this, I finally get, kind of less bad at it, so to speak, and hopefully get a lot better. But no, just want to say, that was a little bit about me, kind of how I got here. And hopefully that's what I'm going to keep doing, is working them, growing this channel. Got a few ideas on how to, monetize this, because I'm not going to lie, eventually the goal is to do this full time and to leave the job that, it's time for me to move on to the next stage of my life. So I'm totally grateful for that job now, because it's also paying my bills. So I'm not going to speak down or ill about it, but definitely I need something new, and this is what it was. So hopefully that answers a little bit of something about me that you may or may not have known, and how I got here and what I want to do. So keep asking questions, I'll keep answering them, and I'll keep throwing out videos on how to do certain things with your dogs. All right, good talk to you next time. Done.